It's an old fashioned, it's in white New Hampshire.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we have it at the Carlisle Bar, which is only 2 hotels near it,
All right.
and the rest of the hotels are like a half an hour away for the shuttle.
Awesome. Wow, you're gonna be busy.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys just got back from Italy, right?
He did not.
Oh, he didn't. All right.
No, I took the kids.
Oh, wow.
That's me and Rome with 2 teenagers. At least I think at some point I have to wake them up. I'm like, come
Yes.
on, let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are their ages?
16 and 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
We've had some not good trips. I took them to Hawaii when they were, what, 14 and 15. That did not go
Like
well.
alone?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, my sister lives there.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
was- yeah, they were
That's rough.
Yeah.
The certain ages are, Yeah.
were very uncooperative.
yeah.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. You're like, look at where we are. Why are you arguing?
Two of my grandchildren are coming with us, and they're 4 and they're 9, so they're like global travelers. They're trying to contain one house, they have sensory issues and language, and they're on the spectrum. But you put them in the airport, they go on travel bags, they go on the plane, and I watch it, they look at, when I mind them, I wish they were on the plane.
You're like, so today we're gonna play planes.
I've got a big night coming up with that. So-
Right. Amazing. Well, that sounds fun, and the destination wedding, I hope that you enjoy.
Yeah, we will, because I think a lot of, one branch of my family hasn't seen each other a lot since COVID, and so that will be nice.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just, it's such a huge commitment
yes.
of, time and money and dresses and clothes and.
Right.
Yeah. That's like the new thing is the destination wedding.
Yeah, my younger son did a destination, Cancun.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
So much fun.
Really?
Yeah, there were probably 75 of us.
Wow.
Get out of
Yeah,
here.
no, well, they had
Wow.
a lot of friends.
Yeah,
And
but I'm saying they all went. I
Yeah,
mean, that's,
it was crazy, so much fun.
yeah. Yeah, it was.
I would go back and do that again 100 times.
That sounds fun. Oh,
Of course, my daughter-in-law's parents are a lot of fun too, so we just bonded and.
yeah. Wow.
It's a real resort vacation slash wedding celebration.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Wow. I'm thinking of where I begin. I usually try to wrap these days into what my mornings bring me. And the morning brought me, because I usually will do whatever studies I have, yogic or Buddhist studies in the morning, and it leads me somewhere. Kind of led me to the medicine Buddha. Well, not kind of, it did lead me to the medicine Buddha this morning, which is a little, it can be intense, but it doesn't have to be. So I think when we meditate today, we'll focus on the medicine Buddha. I'm going to go grab a book that I have that shows the depiction of what the medicine Buddha looks like. So we'll be able to imagine that image, while we meditate. But the cool thing that I still don't know everything about the medicine Buddha at all. I just know my relationship with the medicine Buddha as being the form that allows us to know that there is basically a healing method to everything that needs to be healed. And they might even say cure, but I think it's more healing, right? Versus cure. So the difference between cure and healing is if you have, you might be dying of cancer and you can still heal, but you're still going to die of cancer, right? So you heal spiritually, you heal your heart, you heal maybe more of the root cause of if there is an emotional root cause of what's happening. So you can come to deep healing and not be cured. But I actually honestly think the Tibetans think that the medicine Buddha, the representation of that is there is actually a cure to everything, right? Because if we're on Earth, like it just makes sense there is that balance. But the Earth is so vast and there's so many different people, and so many different schools of thought that maybe we haven't discovered what that means yet. We have in some ways, and in many, many ways we haven't discovered what that means. But circling back around, the medicine Buddha has always given me hope, I guess. Mainly because of my mom and her situation with her mental health. And I just keep coming back to that. This week, I know I talked about it, I think Monday or Wednesday. Her birthday is May 4th and Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. So it's energetically really strong. I think about her a lot. And she, and her influence in my life, and where I am, and her difficult journey with, paranoid schizophrenia and living a life of isolation and living in another dimension, basically. But what that has kind of afforded me, like the gratitude that I can pull from that path, in that situation, and how for years I have gone back to review the medicine Buddha and to feel like maybe not in this lifetime, but another lifetime there's hope. I don't know how it all works, with lifetimes, but just for her and her path, it just has always given me hope, and it has always kept me strong on my path of taking in this information and then, giving it out as best I can so that others can connect with a more fulfilling life. And then the hope, like I said, of the medicine Buddha, that there is a cure to every ailment. And like in all Buddhism, it's not up to us to be attached to any outcome. So we don't really even know what that looks like, right? It's very individual of what that looks like. So that's where I was led to, was the mantra of the medicine Buddha this morning as I was reflecting on my feelings and what was coming up for me. And I feel like that was part of the conversation that I was having with Josh this morning, that we can all look back over the course of our life and really see some prominent times where we made choices that have directed our life path. You could see, like, it was, you could have really chosen to go a different way, and clearly you're meant to be exactly where you are right now. But I always find it interesting to think, wow, there was this time where I could have ignored that calling, right? To take a different path, which is like intuition. And there's another reflection. I mean, I think that we're all sitting in this room, so we've taken some kind of a wisdom path, right? And you can reflect on, so much easier to reflect on other people's lives, where, like, I've seen it many times where there was this opportunity in their life to choose a wisdom path and they ignored the calling. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that with any, other people. And it kind of is frustrating. So I was reflecting on that a little bit this morning, but mostly like those choices, right? Like when we're faced with the choices in life during certain experiences, big or small, there is always this little whisper, right? That knows which path to take. So I think it's like really brave of all of us to make that choice, because usually it's not the easy way, right? But it is the most fulfilling way. That's kind of what this journey is when you follow any wisdom tradition or spiritual, whatever you want to call it. It's an expanded, the unabridged version of life, which when you begin to expand your awareness out, again, it does not make it easier, but it does make it more fulfilling. So it takes a certain kind of courage to follow that path. So spending time in gratitude toward yourself for having that courage to follow the path. Again, I feel like that's all tied in with the medicine Buddha as well. You're walking the path of healing in a way, right? Healing or revealing your true nature every time you choose to show up and to listen to the guidance of your intuition, which is so normal and natural, you know, like it's always there. But when you make those choices to ignore it because it's scary, it gets quieter, right? But when you make the choice to listen and you make the challenging choice or the more courageous choice, we'll say, then it becomes more integral or in just intertwined, or it's just who you are, right? Listening to the intuition. And whatever word, I know intuition can also seem a little airy, but I think it's our nervous system, really. I mean, physically, if we're going to talk about it that way, it's our nervous system. It's a stabilized nervous system. And our body, I mean, it is a subtle energy machine as well. That's what the nervous system is. So when we are able to tune in, then we know, right? And then the more we listen, the easier it becomes. But to look back, you know, that reflection, I want to spend a little bit of time in reflection and meditation when we begin, for you to just gently reflect back on your life and the choices that led you to this very moment. You know, I'm always amazed by just that. It's like life is really beautiful when you take that time to just reflect. And then we'll begin to bring in variation of the medicine Buddha. All right. Anything that anyone wants to share?
You use the word courage, and I always, go back to that means heart,
Mm-hmm.
and that, for me, it's like, the heart always knows. So if I go back to that, may be difficult and painful for me and grievous, but the heart always knows. It is about, for me, like meaning. And that's like what they're saying now is that the sixth stage of grief is not acceptance, it's meaning. If you think of, like, if I think of like evolvement stages of development, like it has to have, for me, it has to have meaning. Whether I'm in the present or I'm reflecting back. Sometimes when I reflect back and I think of, choices like now that I know what I know, but at that time I didn't know, and if I start to like, go into the grief of that, or the real pain of that, then I am able to find courage within, go into my heart and be forgiving with, and grateful and forgiving with myself, because I didn't know that, but I didn't know, and grateful that I know it now, because that's what made me, and that's what made that situation. But it is, life is lost. It is painful.
Yeah, and grief and all.
And to like hold that tension, to be laughing and crying at the same time. Someone that you love is dying. They could be like 500 years old, and I could be 300, but it's never enough time. And that's kind of like it's such a shock in the physical sense, shock about physiologically, just losing that person physically. It's it's like that exquisite tension between the beauty and the art.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. I love that you brought the word courage up again, because I'm going to go a little deeper into the share this morning since you brought that up. Over the course of probably the last year, I have explored in my life some of the most challenging times and the choices that I've made that felt so scary. Some of them like they had an effect on my body still to this day when I would think back, of like a physiological effect where I would feel like I could still shake from it. So I went back in recently to reflect on some of those experiences that were still giving me the physiological effect. And I went back, using Reiki and using Maharaji. And what I was shown really was to replace the fear, or like you said, hold the tension between, which freed my cells of the physiological effect of the experience, with courage. Like those choices took courage, and some of it I had never associated with having courage to do the thing that was really hard in the face of what it was that I was going through. And then just today, like literally in this moment when you were talking, I wasn't going to share this, but when I was 12, I had this really, really vivid dream of me and my mom. We were in a car and it was like we were driving over a bridge, but we were just going up. And we were totally engulfed in the brightest white light ever, and this dream is still so vivid to me. And I was scared. And she grabbed my hand and she was driving. And she said, "It's gonna be okay. Trust me." And so she introduced me to courage, like I just had this epiphany right now. And I feel like that was part of the journey, because it was 10 years after or more that she lost her place in reality. But that was the beginning of my spiritual journey. It was right after I had that dream. And then about a year or so before she broke from reality, I had another dream that she had died, but she was still alive. And I was so distraught in this dream. I woke up crying and I was trying to explain this to my aunts, like, she's not, she is alive, but she's not there, and I didn't have any clue what that meant until a year later when that actually started to unfold. But that journey over the bridge, I mean, I feel that was kind of the passing of the courage. So interesting.
And there's nothing, I know fathers have their own connection, but there's nothing like that connection with your child because you have that, incubating that child for so much longer. And that, like that never goes away, even after death.
Yeah.
Because I believe there's something, I don't know what it is, but it's intuitively, I feel it, it's a mystery.
Yeah. There's always that connection. So let me go grab that book so we have a visual representation of what I'm talking about with the medicine Buddha. Been carrying this book around for wow, 16 years. It's actually out of print, so it's a pretty special book. And it's all it's Tibetan Buddhist mandalas. And this is where I was first really introduced to the medicine Buddha. Let's see. So they're meant to be, this book is meant to be used to reflect on, to meditate, to hold the image of these depictions, the healing Buddha. I mean, look at how beautiful. The dark blue, if you want to, yes. Right? And so these are meant to be almost like temples, inner temples, when you reflect on these images. If you can sort of, I bring in the visualization often in here to hold the image of the Buddha above your head and create this mandala around yourself. And so within this basically represents all the qualities of healing. That's what every single thing in this picture has meaning. But we don't have to know it logically, right? I think that even just showing everyone the picture, it's like you immediately got a sense. And that's really what you're meant to go with when you begin to practice this way, is the sense, the sort of the sensation that you feel when you look at this without knowing every individual. You're more than welcome to learn what that is, but it's okay to just go with a sense. So I'm going to see if I can rest that there with it, hopefully staying open. Maybe I'll put this on this side. So that way we have the healing Buddha depiction. And then when you're ready, you can gently close your eyes. Option, of course, to keep them slightly open as another form of meditation. Few deep breaths. And we'll use the first couple minutes to move our bodies just a little bit so we can sink in to our physical body first, of course, and be more present to the sensations, and then we go from there where we lighten up. So if you'd like, you can roll the shoulders, big circles with the shoulders. And when I roll my shoulders, I like to move my neck around too, so I can loosen up that tension around the neck and the shoulders. You might deepen your breath too a few times, bring in the oxygen, so when you settle into the meditation, the breath is already a little bit smoother. You can bring in some seated cat-cow, just moving the spine, or maybe some circles, seated barrel rolls. So just listen to your body and what it needs. It might feel good to stretch your arms way up, whatever it is. The eyes are closed and we're just doing our thing, so that way we can feel more settled in the body. And you'll know, you eventually get to a place where you know that you can settle and sit. That's what asana is designed for. You know, when you go through your physical yoga practice, asana is designed to prepare the body for meditation. So just taking your time. And then as you come into a place where you're ready for meditation, you find yourself sitting up a little taller. And you're always welcome to shift your seat. If you're uncomfortable, make an adjustment. If you want to lie down, you can lie down at any time throughout. It's okay. Just move slow if you're making an adjustment, so you maintain the energetic alchemy of what you've created through the meditation. We'll just connect with the breath first. If you can, breathe in and out through the nose, if that is available. I know it's allergy season, so you do the best that you can. We're coming into a place where we just notice that we are breathing. There's no need to change anything or to try to do anything. We're seated in the body. And you can just begin to witness the changes that occur naturally within the breaths and the ease of tension in the body. So relaxing the jaw. We find our strong spine, but the muscles relax around the spine. If you're feeling a little extra sleepy this morning, or maybe a little foggy in the mind, then I encourage you to sit up even taller, so much so that you can feel the drying up of the pelvic floor, drying up out from the hips. So there's a little more muscle engagement, relaxing the legs, but feeling the uplift and engagement in the torso. And eventually you relax into that, but that allows the blood to flow more readily and bring more oxygen to the brain. And that gentle reflection that I was talking about earlier, where we can just reflect on the beauty, maybe the challenge, the courage, the heart of all the choices that you've made that led you to this very moment. Any meditation, we observe, we're aware of the sensations in the body, physically, emotionally, energetically, and we nurture it just like we would a newborn baby, right? We care for it and we hold it and just allow it to go through its process, pushing nothing away. Just a gentle reflection that every choice led you to this very moment. Feel yourself arriving in this moment. Imagine the medicine Buddha or the healing Buddha above your head. Creating a field of radiant, luminous, what's known as clear light, but it's like rainbow light around your body. Whole mantra, which we'll break down and we'll bring it in smaller pieces. The medicine Buddha mantra is Tayata Om Bekenze Bekenze Maha Bekenze Radza Samugate Soha. So Tayata means like this. Om is composed of the three pure sounds and ma, which signifies one's own body, speech, and mind that get transformed into the Vajra body, which is the one that you're sitting in now, where you imagine the Buddha. Over the head is the indestructible body, speech, and mind. So we get to rest in this place when we meditate and strengthen from the inside out the qualities that we bring in through meditation. Then Bekenze, Bekenze, eliminating pain, eliminating pain. What eliminates pain is medicine. This pain is not ordinary pain. Even animals do not want to experience that. The first eliminating pain is true suffering. The second is the true cause of suffering. The medicine that eliminates pain is first the gradual path, of the lower capable being, and the second, the graduated path of the middle capable being. Then Maha Bekenze, the great eliminating pain, is the graduated path of the higher capable being, which eliminates the subtle aversions and ignorance of our life. So Bekenze, Maha Bekenze contains the whole path to enlightenment, the ultimate medicine. Radza is king, and Samudgate is ocean of goodness. Soha, to establish the foundation in the heart, the blessing, the devotion from which the realization comes. So this reflects the Four Noble Truths and really the Eightfold Path, the path to enlightenment. So we continue to breathe. And very gently to yourself, begin to repeat Tayata Om. Of course, if your mind wanders, you just gently bring it back. Tayata Om. Maybe with the breath as you inhale, Tayata Om. As you exhale, Tayata Om. Tayata Om. Tayata Om. Tayata Om. So of Tayata Om. Breathing. Noticing. Relinquishing attachment to outcome. And so just being present. Repetitive sound of Bekenze to yourself. So maybe Bekenze on the inhale, Bekenze on the exhale, or however it ends up showing itself to you. Could be a constant repetition. Bekenze, 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 Bekenze. Bekenze. As we connect with this mantra, there's this feeling that, we're alleviating suffering within ourselves. Bekenze. The first beckons, alleviates suffering within ourselves. The medicine of eliminating pain, right? Pain on all levels of being. Beckons. Notice how it feels to connect the three words. Teyata Om beckons. 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 Beckons. Maha beckons. Repeating Maha beckons. Great eliminating pain. This is where we can send that for out to others, for all beings to be free from suffering. Maha beckons. Teyata Om beckons. Beckons. 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 Maha beckons. Maha beckons. Eliminating pain is true suffering. The second is the true cause of suffering. We eliminate that for ourselves and all others. Teyata Om beckons. Beckons. Maha beckons. Radza, king, meaning big, powerful. Samudgate, ocean of goodness. The whole path to enlightenment, the ultimate medicine. We are established in the heart. Established in the heart as our foundation in the ocean of goodness. We eliminate suffering. Maha beckons. Radza samugate soha. Radza samugate soha. Teyata Om beckons. Beckons. Maha beckons. Radza samugate soha. Teyata Om beckons. Beckons. Maha beckons. Radza samugate soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Radza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Radza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Established in the foundation of the heart, swimming in the ocean of goodness. We eliminate pain, aversion, ignorance. Ayata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. We become indestructible vehicles in our body, speech, and mind as we meditate on this mantra to eliminate suffering and the causes of suffering for ourselves and all beings. We eliminate the great pain. We eliminate ignorance and aversion and anger. The ultimate medicine. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Transformed into the Vajra body, the indestructible body. Body, speech, and mind as the foundation in the heart, connecting us to the ocean of goodness. Eliminating suffering for ourselves and all beings. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Teyata Om Bekenze, Bekenze, Maha Bekenze, Raza Samogate Soha. Coming back to inner silence, releasing the mantra, and just observing the resonance, the reverberation from the practice, the radiance of the medicine Buddha above your head. And the healing sphere that encompasses you. in this moment, you feel, notice, sense your indestructible nature and your ability to meditate on eliminating suffering within yourself and all others. In this moment, you believe it to be true. Dissolve the image of the Buddha into our heart. Right? This quality now has a room in our heart where we can open the door anytime or even leave it open, where our intention is that we are free from suffering and that all others are free from suffering, the causes of suffering. Resting in that. That exploration of courage. The exploration of the temple of the medicine Buddha. Vow to honor our true nature in whatever way you're called to, maybe just by bending forward with your hands together. I know some like to press their forehead to the floor, or even a full pranam where you lay out all the way. So whatever you're called to do, go for it. And that last call, right, where we connect with the call to have that guidance and enlightening our body, speech, and mind as we continue to move through our day and our lives. When we bow, we ask for that enlightened body, speech, and mind. And we also let it go in the bowing, right? Releasing attachment to outcome. Or when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And of course, space to share. I would love to hear how that was for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So I definitely like, almost immediately was able to find places of courage that kind of like brought me to where I am, like breaking up with my husband when we were dating, and the, I guess, intuition that that was not the right thing to do, and making amends and, you know, going back, and then later on taking some really, well, actually for that, deciding not to become involved with drugs,
Mhm.
because, you know, growing up in the 70s, it was obviously, you know, really prevalent at the time, and I innately knew that if I started on that path, I wasn't coming back.
Wow.
And I just, it was a conscious decision to just walk away from that whole scene, because I knew my personality would allow me to just embrace it and go down that path. So, and then taking some really sage advice from a person that I didn't particularly respect, but the advice I was given was something that I embraced. And so there are so many different times throughout my lifetime where I did embrace the courage to do what I didn't necessarily want to do,
Mhm.
but chose to do because I felt it was really right for me.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
That's really neat because this is my first class and kind of went down a similar path in my mind of, hey, when did you have that courage? And how it's all the decisions that you make when you are learning to make a tough decision, how that there are like waypoints in your spiritual path. Like you don't even know you're on a spiritual path,
Right.
but you're making these very difficult, courageous decisions. And I kind of went back in my mind to like just various different times. And it's just kind of astounding how it just pushes you to a certain point. And it's you get to the point where it's hard not to accept that,
Yeah.
you know, you have a path and you need to have the courage to make those tough decisions. And I don't know if it's the, you know, I do know, I think you have the free will to either make a good decision or a courageous decision if you don't. And if you do, you get to your path maybe sooner.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting going back in my mind to a few different points in my life where I made tough decisions. And so anyway,
I love
that was neat.
Yeah.
That was neat.
I have the chill listening to you. I feel, you know, like I think it's neat. I don't know if you've had that experience where maybe you didn't think it was courageous, but then when you reflect and you're like, oh wow, you know, like it actually was, like it just creates a shift in your body.
I certainly didn't think it was a spiritual journey at
Right.
all. Like I didn't have that, you know, but I'm sure you didn't necessarily have that when you were in the 70s. So
Right.
I thought of a time when I was, you know, 6 years old in 1976, like, you know, but then looking back and looking at all those different waypoints in your life, it directs you to a certain place. And so that's stunning to me.
Yeah.
So it's neat.
Wow.
Very grateful for that.
I love that. Stunning. That's such a good word. I love that. Wow.
A lot of what came up for me was, going back to kind of what you said, that what felt like times of being, like, how did I get in this situation? How am I so, I'm gonna say weak, but weak in a way, when you're most vulnerable and you've gotten yourself in a terrible situation and recognizing in hindsight that getting out of that was really courageous, I mean, strength. So rather than taking away from, rather than having the impact of those times be, I made terrible decisions, I put myself in a terrible situation, but really I found the courage to move beyond them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was where, that was where, that was where I was.
Thank you. All right. Phew, I didn't know if I was gonna take this. I seeing like 3 new people in here today. I was like, am I really gonna talk about this today? But I'm glad that I did, because I feel like we all, journeyed where we needed to, and you guys were the perfect group to do that with. So thank you for being here. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Hope to see you soon.
Mhm.